Hi everyone, I'm Eugenie Lambrecht and I am a member of the operations team here at Reka, and today I'm joined by Max.
Hey, Max here. I'm a member of the technical staff at Reka.
Cool. Today we'll share a bit more about Reka and our multimodal assistant Yasa. So Reka is an AI research and product company that develops multimodal frontier models. Our flagship product Yasa is an enterprise-grade AI assistant that understands text, image, audio, video, and can take actions via code execution. Yasa is trained from scratch with privacy, security, and efficiency in mind. So for the purpose of today's demo, we'll show you how to create an internal AI assistant that makes use of private data sets to generate more accurate responses. To do this, let's use a smart farming tech company as an example. They have a lot of technical manuals for their different products, and as their product range grows, so does their library of documents. And as a result, their customer support team has a hard time keeping up. We will help them by showing them how to create an internal AI assistant that uses these manuals to provide accurate responses. So the agent will essentially log in and be able to view the support ticket from the customer on the left here. The AI assistant will then provide a summary of the issue as well as a diagnosis. And then it will also pinpoint to specific sections within the appropriate manual that the agent can refer back to, as well as follow-up actions or questions that the agent can also relay to the customer. So Max, can you please show us how to use the Reka API to set this up?
Thanks, Eugenie. Happy to. So yeah, we have our high-level design on this slide, and I'll be taking us step by step through a Jupyter notebook on how we can use Reka's API to be the brains behind this system and to build this product. So just as an overview, first I'm going to demonstrate how we can install and set up Reka's API Python package and some basic usage for calling the chat interface. And then I'll demonstrate how we can inject a database or knowledge store, in this case, product manuals, to the language model to keep it up to date with our specific product information. So I'll just dive right in here. So installing the Reka's API is just a simple pip command. So I'll just do it like so. And then in our Python script, we just need to import Reka and then also set our API key, which as a Snowflake customer or Reka customer you'll be given, I will just copy and paste one we've obtained earlier. And so we just need to set this, and then our API is ready to go. So I'll just show some basic usage of the chat interface. Ask it a question like, what is the capital of London? And then print the response. And here I've asked it a false question because London's a city itself, and it corrects me on that. So yeah, that's how we can interface with a generic foundation model, but obviously we're a company with private data, and this language model has been trained on a snapshot of data from the internet and pre-existing pre-training data, but it won't have knowledge of our existing products. So for example, we may have a series of product manuals, each with specific information, such as this A23 rain sensor with very specific technical information. But Reka's API lets us inject this into the model, so your own custom private data, and we can do this with our add dataset interface. So we just do add dataset, and we just need to supply the file path, which in this case is under the manuals directory. So sensor .md. And then we need to supply a unique name for the dataset. So I'll just use A23 and then a description. So manual of A23 sensor. And then I'll just print the dataset response to make sure it's been successfully uploaded. And yeah, so you can see we've uploaded our dataset with the name A23 successfully. So now we need to prepare it for retrieval, and that's the mechanism we use to provide our language model with up-to-date knowledge bases. So to do that, we will have our, let's see, retrieval response. We'll do Reka dot prepare retrieval, and then we'll do dataset name equals A23, and print this. Okay, so we successfully submitted this job to prepare our dataset for using it as a knowledge base. I'm just going to check the job status here. So Reka dot retrieval job status. Just gonna just check whether it's done, because it usually takes a few seconds because we've got to vectorize this and things like that. So let's just see, and it's successfully completed the job. So we can now use this product manual as a knowledge store. And just as a sanity check, I'll show some examples of using the chat interface with and without this data set. So let's do Reka.chat. And here I'll ask a technical question that would only be possible if you'd read this manual of this imaginary product. So, there's no kind of way the model would know a priori. So if I ask, what is the maximum range of the wireless A23 sensor, and print the response. So here we can see that in this manual, it says the wireless operation is up to 800 feet or 275 meters. And if I print this question without using the knowledge base, it will probably try to make its best guess. So poor Yasa here kind of makes some guess of 50 meters, but it, truly has no idea because it's an imaginary product. But now if we do the same thing but add our retrieval data sets, use three data set, we will see what it says now. So let's see. And here it correctly can now identify the range of the sensor because it uses its knowledge base and correctly says up to 800 feet or 275 meters, as we put here. So that's kind of shows you the usefulness of adding these knowledge bases, specifically in our customer AI assistant setup, where we could be asking about any range of products, and this could be updated over time, and we could scale to thousands of product manuals. And so this kind of outputs generic natural language responses, but to kind of pass this into a front end or use this in production, we need a more structured output. And in our high-level design, we've kind of outlined that we want a diagnosis as well as a summary of the customer query, and then also some potential actions or responses, as well as references to kind of show what parts of the manual the model is using to answer the question or query. So here we've kind of made a pre-made prompt, just telling Yasa that it's a customer support agent. It's got the following customer issue. We just use a string placeholder here, which we'll format in later, and then telling it to summarize the main issue that the customer is facing in 1 to 2 sentences. And then finally, we're telling it to respond only in a JSON format, essentially just a dictionary with a summary key, explanation, solutions. And here we have an example ticket query from Jane Doe, who's saying that she bought a sensor 3 months ago. So some kind of not very helpful information, but then it's got some key troubleshooting stuff in here. And she's talking about the A23 sensor. So let's see how we can answer this with the chat model, Reka.chat. We're going to use the prompt and format in the query. And then we're going to still use the retrieval data set. So that looks like this. And then we're going to print out the response. So let's see. Wait. Just wait a second. The output's slightly longer, so we have to wait a little bit longer to get the response from Yasa. And yeah, as you can see here, now it outputs just a pure dictionary, like a JSON dictionary, which is much better for parsing and using as structured output. So if I import JSON, we can see that response dict equals JSON.load. Here I'm just telling that it's a JSON string, and that we can print we can do this. Yeah, and you can on here we have our JSON with keys and the values, and we can pass this into our front end. And what's also nice with the retrieval system in Reka's API is that we can also see where in the manual the model is using to answer the question. So if I take the response and do retrieve chunks, let's say just print the thing. At the moment, yeah, it uses 3 chunks, so let's just print the first one and see what information it uses. It tells us the text section used and the title. So if I just copy and paste this and Control F, we can see that this is the section that the chat model used to answer the question. This can kind of help the customer service agent ground the response a little bit and just verify things a bit more. But going beyond this, we may also want to draft a response to the customer as well. So perhaps even draft a potential email, which the agent can then verify. And to do this, we'll use a different prompt. So here we're just telling Yasa that it's got to reply to the query with diagnosis and action points, and that our company name as well as the information. So here we'll use response email equals reka.chat. Here we'll pass in the original customer query. So that is this. And we'll also supply the response of the previous output. So remember, we've got 2 strings here which we can format in. And here we don't actually need to use the retrieval dataset anymore because we've got that information and facts kind of inside this string. So we can just use the normal chat model here. And if we just print this out, we will hopefully get a nice looking email which we can send to Jane Doe. And again, we have to wait a bit longer because there's quite a bit of text and emails typically. And yeah, so here we have our response to Jane, telling her, thanks for bringing this to our attention. Sorry to hear that you had trouble. Here's some potential solutions. So check this power supply. And these things are all kind of recommended inside the manual. Inspect the sensor and verify the connections. And then reach out to us again. Best regards, Greenfield Innovation Support Team. And so if we just go back to our product overview, this kind of satisfies all of the requirements. So we have a model which can take in a customer query about a specific product, find its manual in our database knowledge, knowledge database, provide a summary to the customer's problem, potential diagnosis, as well as some responses, either in the form of a list or just a draft email. And so this is kind of how, you adapt Yasa to up-to-date product information. But of course, you can go beyond just text-based assistance. So Yasa also accepts images, video, speech. So you could imagine customers might upload images of their broken products and ask, how do I fix this? Or they might have a phone conversation with a customer agent, and we'd have to use audio then to kind of process. And all this is possible with Yasa. You can just visit our blog for more information. And I'll just pass it back to Eugenie for the final slide.
Thank you so much, Max. Yasa is currently also supported in our own managed infrastructure and will be on Snowflake soon. So if you, as Max mentioned, if you have any questions or want more information, you can either visit our website at reka.ai or reach out to us at contact@reka.ai. Thank you so much.